Hi.
Good to have you here. Congratulations on the release of your book.
Thank you.
One of the books that our readers see
Mm.
this is Let's Talk, and that's your book. Tell us about the book a little bit.
It's a book on negotiation and communication skills for young adults in the workplace to help them complete their education cycle, so to speak, because education has no longer remained just study of technical material, graduating and applying that, but it also means being able to work effectively with the people when you apply your skills. So that's where the book comes in, to help make life a little easier for young adults who are raring to go,
Sounds interesting.
stepping on toes.
Interesting. So tell us something about your background and the work that you do.
I'm basically a lawyer. I've got my law degrees from the UK and US, and obviously I came back and I qualified in India. And I also had degrees in anthropology and psychology, so human behavior matters to me a lot. So for me, I was never a proper lawyer, as they call them. I was more a lawyer and social person, working on social issues that affect people, which is why I write and I speak about negotiation and mediation, and I work with the Indian Merchants Chamber. I serve on 3 expert committees where we look to growing mediation for people across board, especially enterprises, small enterprises that may not be able to afford court fees and etc.
So who's the target reader that you had in mind when you wrote Let's Talk?
The target reader is the person who's in his first job, or who's had a first major promotion, or somebody who's gone from a very small company to a very big company in a millisecond. Perhaps it's like a windfall situation for that person, incredible luck in getting that job and not expecting it to get it at that time in his life or her life. So 24 to 34. And basically it can be anybody, Lakshmi, who has suddenly gone into a situation that he or she is absolutely not equipped to deal with from an emotional and people's viewpoint.
I've read the book for most parts, but it also applies to students, right?
Yes.
Who could prepare for these situations using your guide.
Well, because this concept has not been introduced in India so far, the book has been written for people who are in the job. But yes, the ideal situation would be to introduce an optional course in universities. I would say, after the first year college, where BA, MA
Should be a part of our academic
BSc,
curriculum.
Yes, IITs, IIMs, law schools, where a link is established between technical subject and this kind of soft skill to combine, so that it is not difficult for the student to get into the first job and hit the ground running.
Right. What inspired you really to write this book, Mukta?
Pre-negotiation workplace and post-negotiation learning workplace inspired me, because I saw a very big difference in my own attitude. And I guess when you first work, it's all about yourself, and it's not your fault that you think like that. People have loans, people have so many things they have to take care of. They have families, they have so many issues that the whole thing about the job is just to do well, and there is no mind space for anything else. I mean, who the heck cares, right? I mean, if somebody likes you or not. I just want that promotion, but ultimately you burn out at the end of the day. So it's good if you're able to read about these skills and imbibe at least some which you think apply to you, and make that mind space and awareness. Basically all you need is awareness to be able to deal better with people, because then they will be better with you.
True. The title is really catchy, we felt. So as a mediation specialist, how important and applicable do you think negotiation and communication are as skills or as a subject in today's corporate world?
Actually, you asked a very good question, Because one of the keys to mediation or negotiation is to keep parties talking.
Right.
The very worst situation that can happen, in my experience, in a mediation or negotiation is when the table is silent.
Communication falls.
Yes. Whether it be 2, 6, 8 or 10 people. So you may, you have strategies in the book that say, leave that point, go to the next point,
Right.
take a break, lunch break, take a coffee break. There are many things you can do to not get aggressive or to not turn negative or to just say, well, it looks like nobody has anything to say now, right? That's the worst thing. So I think that should not happen between two college students, two postgrad students, two co-workers, to
Right.
superiors and bosses, to colleagues and superiors, juniors and superiors, insiders and outsiders, in a marriage, whatever, you have to be able to talk.
Right. So
And you-
communication is.
And you have to be able to even negotiate in a way that you can continue talking.
Correct. Right. So tell us something about what was it like for you, the actual process of writing this book? How did you go about it?
I didn't want the book to be a textbook. And the book is entirely on my personal experiences.
Okay.
But I did not want to make it about one person. I
Right.
felt it would be too heavy and probably even boring, So I decided that, okay, if not one person, then two. And then I began to draw the table of contents. That's the way I work. I write out the entire table of contents first with my ideas. Then the ideas become chapters. Then I realized, no, two people is not fun.
That
Let's
is the
make
lawyer
it-
in you.
Perhaps. I said two people is not enough. We should make it four. And the journey of two young men and two young women sounds more interesting, and it's kind of more spaced out then.
And that is how
Yes.
Ankita, Vidya, Ketan and Ram were
Yes.
born. Nice. One more thing I would like to ask you. If there were to be a sequel, I'm sure our readers also would love to know this
Yeah.
once they read your book. If there were to be a sequel to the stories of Ankita, Ketan, Ram and Vidya
Right.
from this book,
Right.
could you give us some hint about what such a sequel would talk about? How their stories would proceed from here?
Well, logically they would be very senior.
Right.
Say the next book may take a 5-year jump. So, they are now doing very well in their respective organizations. They may have moved on from where they work in the first book, or they may not have moved on. So they are basically mentors for new people.
Right.
And the stories of two new men and two new young women.
Okay.
And obviously the problems cannot be the same because they are already being dealt with in the first book. But the problems would perhaps be of a different kind, where again our young executives, our stars, would not know how to deal with those problems and would be guided. The guidance may work, the guidance may not work.
And in the process, our mentors also may learn a thing or two.
Maybe, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's where, and our mentors have become friends at the end of the first book.
Right.
So I don't know, but probably to give it a little bit of a novelish feel, they might have their own interactions, in the book also. Because the difference in the first and second book probably would be also how you ask for help. Because your mentor is your mentor. Your mentor is not your mother or father or your sister or brother. So he or she is not going to point out to you how to ask something. He or she will just guide you on whatever you have said. So it's also a lot about how you approach somebody and how you learn from your senior.
Thanks, Mukta. It's really wonderful talking with you.
Thank you so
And
much.
I'm sure our readers are waiting to actually grab a copy and read it themselves, especially those who are setting out in their chosen careers. We wish you the very best
Thank you.
going forward. Thank you.